Hi everybody. So we're about to do the rosary right now, just to let you guys know how this is kind of going to play out. We're going to do the rosary right now, and then grab some food afterwards. And then if you guys, depending on how you guys are scheduled for today, if you want to stick around, there'll be another Divine Mercy prayer about probably 2:30 or 3 o'clock. So I don't expect everybody to be here this entire time. So we'll just kind of get started. We're going to have Sonia Vertito stand up. I'm going to have Banjo come up right now and kind of let you know what's going on right at this moment.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Banjo, like the banjo, the guitar, but I pronounce it the banjo. On behalf of the Obfenda family, we would like to thank you for being here today, including those who are watching. There's no live stream. It's just us. But I just want to remind everybody, before we proceed, to kindly silence your cell phone and other electronic device. This might be a perfect time to do it, because we're going to be praying the rosary. As we are gathered here today, I just want to thank God for the gift of life that was given to us on August 6, 1933, and she went to her Savior on September 15, 2022. We are also here to provide love and express our utmost support to the Obfenda family, not only on this day, but on the days to come. We ask that God give grace to Tito Liling and Cousin Irvin, that God will continue to give them comfort and strength and protection, especially on this very challenging time. Tito Liling and Cousin Irvin, my condolences. Now I invite everyone to join us in our rosary prayer, headed by my sister, Sonia Vertito.
Hello, good afternoon. After each mystery, we will have the little prayer about for Thelma, eternal rest grant to Thelma, O Lord, and let perpetual light shine upon her. May she rest in peace. Okay, in the name we'll start in the name of the Father, and the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. I believe in God, the Father Almighty, Creator of heaven and earth, and in Jesus Christ, His only Son, our Lord, who was conceived.
At this time also, during refreshments and whatnot, if anybody wants to come up and say anything about an experience that you had with my mom or something you'd like to share, would be a good time right now. So the mic is free. Anybody just wants to step up and go, I'm sure we'll all just stop and listen. So
good afternoon. Again, my name is Banjo. I'm the nephew of our beloved Auntie Thelma. My wife and I were on a vacation cruise when we learned the sad news. I was in the middle of exercising in the gym when I received a text from Irvin. And I paused for a minute and felt two things. The light had dimmed, and I won't have a chance to say goodbye to her in person. We knew it was inevitable, but there was still a part of me hoping to see her alive to say goodbye and thank her over the years for being like a second mother to us, and especially to me. When I first came here in the United States in 1979, I was a young teenager then. Auntie Thelma was the only close blood relative and my only auntie in the United States. I was in Northern California, and she's here in Southern California. I would call her here and then just to hear her voice. Visited her a few times, but merely her being there down in Southern California It's a good support for me. The transition of living in America was not easy for me at that time. She was my anchor, my only anchor during those early years. In case something were to happen to me, I would turn to her for help. Indeed, she did. She helped me. When my wife and I were planning on our wedding, I asked her to be our godmother. She was delighted. But first, her being a devout Catholic herself, she asked me a few questions about my fiancée, soon to be my wife. In fact, she's here. The first question is she a God-fearing person? The second, is she prayerful? Third, does she pray the rosary? I answered yes, yes, and yes. My soon-to-be my wife is deeply a devout Catholic and practices her faith religiously. She was happy to hear that. And she said in Tagalog, "Buti yan, nakakita ka ng nagmamahal sa Diyos at madasalin pa." Let me say it in English. That's good. You found someone who loves our dear Lord God and religiously very prayerful. Hold on. At that moment, even without her saying it, she gave me her blessings. Thelma Obfenda is a good Catholic Christian, a good mother, a good wife, a good auntie, a good friend, and most of all, God's good servant. Indeed, she is. I'd like to end this with a scripture reading from 2 Timothy 4, 6-8. It says, "As for me, the hour has come for me to be sacrificed. The time is here for me to live this life. I have done my best in the race. I have run the full distance, and I have kept the faith. And now there is waiting for me the victory prize of being put right with God, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will give me on that day, not only to me, but to all those who wait with love for him to appear." Thank you, Auntie Thelma. Thank you so much. I and the rest of the family will dearly miss you. Until we meet again, rest in peace.
I'm Iday. I'm her oldest niece. Anyway, when I was growing up, this will be the lighter side of her. When I was growing up, I used to just sneak in her room and watch what she does. I borrowed, I'm not really borrowed, I stole some dresses, primped around, and she never knew it. Never told her. Sonia and I, one time we were little, I don't think you remember, we knew where she kept her money. She had it on one of the shelves, climbed up, got some cents, went to the candy store, and then she was looking for it. I disappeared. She was the one who got all the blame. I never admitted to it. Anyway, so then I grew up a little more. She was starting to put on makeup. I wanted that too. So I picked out the lipstick, put it on, and she caught me. I couldn't say no. You are pikat. You know what's pikat in our dialect is flirt. And then when I grew up a little more, she went into nursing program. And I saw her in her white uniform with a hat, and I got, wow, I'm going to be a nurse too, just like her. And I did. I don't know if that's good or bad, but I finished it. I followed her all the way here to United States, except that I was in Chicago and she was here in Southern California. She was my comfort at the times that I was so homesick, fresh from the boat, and I couldn't look at a hamburger in the face. I couldn't eat it. And she told me, you eat one and you just follow it up with a glass of water. You'll survive it. And of course I did. After a while I could eat a burger, 2 of them in one shot. So being a nurse is one of her legacy. And it did me very well. I thanked her for it. You know, I was able to raise children, send them to college because of the profession. She was the one who really inspired me to do that. Oh, I forgot. She was the one who taught me how to wear a mini skirt. She said, just wear stockings underneath it. They wouldn't know if your legs are ugly. They just stockings underneath it and wear a mini skirt. And one of her pictures is exactly like that, with a black dress. Where is that? Yeah, big hairstyle. I had that. I had just like tease. I teased my hair, made it big. Mini skirt. I was exactly like her, and I was happy as a further. I loved it. Thank you, Thelma. You have been such a positive influence in my life. Thank you. That's all I have to share.
Hello. I have a question. Who did the makeup for Thelma? She's beautiful. Irving, you have to tell me who. Don't you agree? Anyway, good morning. Hello, my name is Didit of Bisamis Doti, one of the nieces for Thelma, and I promised her that I was going to deliver a eulogy at her funeral, so here I am, Thelma. My mother is the oldest sister of Thelma. In that regard, I'd like to thank the Obfendas for allowing my mother, Etta, to stay in their home for many, many months, if not years on end. Because of the Obfendas' generosity, we were able to immigrate to America legally and eventually became citizens of this great country through my mother. We all know Thelma loves to dance in parties and get-togethers. In fact, at my wedding, as soon as Mambo No. 5 played, she was first on the floor and led the line dance. One can tell she really, really loves to dance. No party is complete ever without her on the dance floor. She loves to mingle socially, especially around family and friends. I always I will always cherish the recipe she gave me. It was in her own writing in a piece of paper on how to make suman and latik. That's sweet rice and syrup. Also, she gave me a rosary and a guide on how to use, how to say, the rosary. And mind you, I used it. She will always be in our hearts. Rest in peace, Thelma. You will sorely be missed. Thank you.
Well, I didn't prepare anything, but it was my honor to care for her for several months with Ninong. She was in a lot of pain, a lot of suffering. And I can tell you this is a blessing now. She's gone and joining the people that went before. But she'll always be in our hearts and in the hands of God. Thank you, Ninong, for everything you've done for everybody here. We love you.
Hi, my name is Debbie Abesamis Dorothy. I'm also an Anyuber. Thelma Anyuber Obfenda is my auntie, and I am the 8th out of the 10 children of Thelma. Thelma is Auntie Thelma, the sister of my mother, who is the older sister of Thelma. My name is Debbie, but I'm also known in the family as Girly, as my pet name. I wasn't really prepared, but I really just had to say something because I promised Thelma that I was going to do some kind of a eulogy, but eulogies for me are not speeches. I believe it has to come from the heart. It's more of a conversation. I'm talking to her right now. I promised her that I was going to say something, and she did ask me about 2 or 3 weeks ago. We came to visit her. She asked me that I have, or everybody in the family should say a eulogy for her. And I told her, you don't even have to ask. So this is a promise that I had to do. I didn't have anything prepared, and I apologize, Thelma, but I don't want you to visit me at night because I did not do this eulogy. She did. Yeah, our TV was turning off. I don't know. Your TV, not mine. So anyway, I think my brother Banjo, my younger sister Didi, pretty much summarized everything. What to say about Thelma. She's fun. She's very entertaining. She's the life of the party. I really have not known her that much except for the last 30 years that I was here. And the very reason we were here was because of her. If it wasn't for Thelma, we would not have been accepted into the United States. So we thank her for that. We owe her for that, giving us this opportunity to live a better life and be with her. We love her to death. It's just that, distance just doesn't allow us to visit her all the time because we're up north in San Francisco and she's here in LA. But, there's always this connection between us. Because of that, she did help us, and we do love her very much. She is the last matriarch of her family, the Anyuver clan. So this is a very, very important moment for us to pay these respects for her because we're given this opportunity to see her off. I was actually trying to write something for her, but eventually it got deleted. But Thelma, I saw you in my dreams the other night, and I think that was a sign. I saw her in my dream. She was in a wheelchair. My sister was pushing her. She visited me in a house where I don't even know if it was my house, but she was there just staring at me. And this was the first time I had a dream of someone who wasn't even buried yet, and I had a dream about her. So that probably is the reason why I'm up here. She keeps reminding me that I have to keep that promise of saying a eulogy for her. So this time, Thelma, I wish you a happy life in heaven. you rest in peace, your physical body here on earth. But I know you're already in heaven with the Lord. Say hello to the rest of the family who are there. And we love you very much. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Sonia. I'm the eldest of these people. And my cousin, Iday. We are the favorite of Thelma, excuse me. Anyways, I don't have much to say, but I can tell you the memories I got from Thelma when I was still very little with Lola, and she used to come from Manila. I was so enthralled about her beauty, and that she was like hairy, not like you can see. Yes, she was hairy. She was beautiful. To me, it was like she's not reachable at all. So I would not imagine that later on, when I was over here already in the States, that she would be very, very close to us. I don't know, she really loved us from the start because she tells us so, and she tells friends so. Isn't that right? You died? No, but then it looks like she loves the whole family. She is even a better dancer than we are, huh? And that she dresses really very nicely. And she loves to go with us to other out of town. What else can I tell you, Chatham? We just know that we love you very much and that she's been very good to us. And it is very nice to see her happy when I tell her we're going there, Chatham, I will visit you. She's so happy. You could see it on her face, how she would hug us. Her eyes, she would really light up and hug her and even sway this way. And that she just is different. Even when I arrived to see her because Ida was not around. She was sitting in her chair. She was closing her eyes. She was already on hormone. What do you call that? Morphine. Yeah. And then when she heard my sister say, "Oh, Sonia, I see her," I think they told me that she made a gesture like, "Let her come." She just feels so good that she's so happy to see us. And we do feel the same way about her. All I can do right now to Thelma, there's not much, but I can promise you I'll be praying for you all the time, that you will be in heaven. She gave me one last look. She opened her eyes because she was kind of like slightly sleeping already. She looked at me, held my hand, and she said, Paano yan, Sonia? I'm going to die. And I just was, in a way, like I'm not going to be too sentimental about it, but I told her that, don't worry, you will see Chalili, you will see your sisters, your mother, my mom, everybody. And she would relax. She feels good about it. She's ready to die. So I'm sure she's not like going to miss us more than when she is up there already. She's very happy. I know she is happy. Well, thank you for all of you for coming. We appreciate your presence and your love. Thank you.
Hi everybody, my name's Olivia and I wasn't prepared to do a speech either, but as everybody has shared, a eulogy is speaking well of a person, and I am so grateful that all of you guys are here and speaking so well of Thelma. I actually met Thelma through her son Edwin. He was my pastor for many years. And I've known Thelma for a long time, but I really started having more interaction with her when her house flooded. And so I would go, and that was before her son Edwin passed away. And as I got to see her decline when her son passed, because prior to that, she was full of life. Even with up in age, she just was full of life. And so I am just so grateful that God brought us together for that time, because not only would I go and cry with her as I remembered Pastor Ed, I called him Pastor Ed, but for her it was also very comforting to know that I almost kind of felt like our church was her church family because of Pastor Ed, because of Edwin. And so I got to spend a lot of time with her, and she talked about her family. She loved I heard so much about Jan and Steve, even before I met you guys, and the family, and she just loved family. She just had this love for everybody, and loved her grandson. Oh my goodness, she talked so much about you, and we would converse about how I remember when you would come to our church and you were a little boy, and so she just loved to talk about her family because she loved them so much. So I am thankful to have known Thelma. I am thankful that she was there for me more than really I thought I was there for her, but I think she was there more for me as I was grieving the loss of her son. And anyway, we grieved together. I also had the opportunity to share with her that because of God's grace, we get to be to heaven one day. Towards the very end, we had deep conversation prior to her starting on her medications, and we talked about heaven and how heaven is a real place, and how she would one day be reunited with her son that she loved so much. I am so thankful that God gave her two wonderful sons. And I got to witness the love that Pastor Ed had for her, for Pastor Ed loved his mom and dad so much. And that was always, we knew that as his church family. And he took care of his parents and made sure that they were taken care of. But it was such a privilege and an honor for me to see that after my pastor, her son Edwin, went to go home with the Lord, how the Lord used her other son, Irvin, to provide for her and her husband for everything they needed. And I know that the morning that she passed, that she graduated into heaven, Irvin shared with me how he had gotten up and his shift started at midnight. And his mom made some certain movement with her body, and so he just went up to her and held her in his arms. And it was at the moment that someone shared a video when the mortuary came to take her body to bring her here. And I was at work because I had gone to work after I spent some time with Irvin and the family and saying my goodbyes. But when I saw that video, I just started crying because I thank God that Thelma was blessed with two wonderful sons. Two sons that loved her very much, and how beautiful that she ended her life here on earth in the arms of one son. And I picture her running into the arms of her other son, Irvin. And to me, I just, again, it's such a blessing to know that that's how God is. He's the comforter of those that are hurting. He's the one that makes, again, he uses people. God used her to comfort me with my loss, and I'm just so forever grateful. And again, I thank you all for coming, and I'm sharing that because it is, a eulogy is to speak well of her. She was so much fun. She shared so many wonderful stories. She would pull out the albums, the photo albums, and she would relive those moments and share all about the dances and the casino times, the parties they had, how the kids would jump off the top second floor into the pool, and it was just, again, she had wonderful, beautiful memories that she would share with such love. I just know that she just loved her family so much, and so anyway, as we continue to speak well of her, because she just touched all of her life, so I'm just so forever grateful, and I thank you all for sharing her with us, and on behalf of our church family, we're all family. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Monique. She's my grandma. I am one of the granddaughters of Lola Lily, which was her older sister, and I wanted to play one of the many voicemails that I received from her. Hold on.
Hi, Monique. This is your Lola. Here in Cypress. If you still remember me. Anyway, is there anyone from Tacloban coming here that you know, like with Uncle Bobby or any one of them? Just in case, if you talk to one of them or any, they'll tell you. Because I've been trying to call, but nobody's answering. Anyway, just make sure to bring me some biti because I love it.
Biti.
Rice, what you call it. I'm not sure it's not called biti. Okay? Thank you, Monique. I hope you get the message. Thank you. Bye-bye.
So that's one of the very, many voicemails that I've received from her. Thank you so much. Back in 2008, I moved to the United States by myself, and she's one of the people that served as my anchor whenever I feel homesick or whenever I needed help. She was a loving grandma. She reminded me so much of my Lola Lily, and yeah, I have so many voicemails of her, and I love seeing her in person during Antaclobanan events, and would often complain that why would I only see her during parties and not novenas. Throughout my stay here in the United States for the past 15 years or so, I would enjoy visiting her and Lolo Cholining, random Sundays, bringing her random food, and I'm gonna miss her, and please give a big hug to Lola Lily and Lolo Alex and say hi for me. That's all. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Luisa Tedisco, and I'm here on behalf of the De Chavez family. My mother, Faye, and Auntie Ellen La Bastida, the maiden, my mom's maiden side, is first cousins. Their mother and Auntie Thelma's mother were sisters. So I always addressed her as Auntie Thelma, because when we first moved to California, when I was in first grade, my mom didn't have any sisters. She had no relatives. And so Auntie Thelma to me was always like a sister to my mom. And Uncle Lilling was also like an uncle to me too. So they've been really close and instrumental in our lives, and have always been there for our family when we needed them the most. And Edwin and Irvin were like first cousins to us, even though somehow in the line we're third cousins. But like everyone has said, that was Auntie Thelma. She was a gem in God's crown. She was a gem in our lives. Like, I imagine a jewelry box, and we think of the gems that have come across in our lives when we needed encouragement, or if they were just being themselves. And so this one verse is one of my favorites in Isaiah 54, and that is, "O you afflicted one," in verse 11, "tossed with tempest and not comforted, Behold, I will lay your stones with colorful gems and lay your foundations with sapphires. I remember when I first read that verse, and at that time I had a good friend of mine who was at church, was the president of the Gemology Institute in Carlsbad, California. And to take that a little deeper, she says, you know, Louisa, that there is a component in sapphires that are clear. A real sapphire is clear. And as long as it has those components, it comes in it comes in colorful gems. And when I thought of the foundation of that sapphire that is clear, I thought of God being that foundation and the people that God has brought into my life when I needed encouragement, at a time. And sometimes they don't know that you are being an encouragement. They're just being themselves. And I feel like that's how Auntie Thelma was to me. She was a beautiful person. She was a joyful person. She had this effervescent personality that just made you feel beautiful. And I was inspired by her because she had such with her profession, it was known that she was very compassionate in her career as being a nurse. And then I was inspired by her fashion, and I love fashion too. And so she just inspired me physically, how she was, but it was coming from the inside out. And so about 2 days before she passed away, she left me this gift as I approached my 60th birthday. We visited her throughout, and she was a little groggy, of course, because she was under painkillers. And they brought her to the table, and Jan and Steve are such patient caregivers, and Auntie Thelma and Uncle Lily was also my ninang and ninang at my wedding too, and I believe they bared the unity cord for our marriage, for our wedding. And when she finally she knew I was there, but when she finally came to mind and she realized I was sitting right next to her, she looked up at me, she knew I was there, and the first words, which would be her last words to me as a gift, was, "You are beautiful." And I thought, wow, I really felt that was, that came from her heart. It came from her pure heart, but I felt like it was God also telling me that too. That one verse in Ecclesiastes, when it says, I can't remember the verse, but it says, God makes everything beautiful in its time. So I think about, at the same time, I'm thinking about the many years, and I'm thinking about the gems in my life that the Lord has blessed me with. And Auntie Thelma was one. And so what a gift that was, to receive my first 60th birthday gift that I will not forget. That I can embrace my years with grace and joy, like how she did. Because even up until the end, when she was in pain, I know she probably had her hard times, and I know what the struggle was with having to care with the elderly, and that wasn't really her. It was just her physical body wasting away. But it was her spirit that that glowed even beyond that. And all you could do was just to help her and be by her side when she needed it the most. And so, Auntie Thelma, you'll be very much missed. And I will miss you, but you have really left a piece of yourself with me with words of affirmation that I will never forget. So, thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Edwin Chu. I felt that I cannot be sitting down there by myself without saying anything, being the founding president of the Taclobanon Association of Southern California. Mana Thelma was one of the original members of the Taclobanon. Manu Liling was our official photographer until such time that Manu Liling was getting young, could no longer focus his camera, I mean. Mana Thelma and the Obfenda family were very supportive of the association. Sometimes we cross our path in the groceries and will ask me, "Oy Edwin, saan it nubina? Hain it nubina?" Suga dito. So I always tell her, "Aad it nubina, pakanto kamo," and I will always see Mana Thelma and of course Manu Liling because she was our official photographer. It is his way of life. So the Taclobanon Association indeed is so thankful to the Obfenda family and the Anubers, being having two of the Anubers my contemporary during our college days. One is Elliot, who is gone ahead of Mana Thelma, then Popoy, who is in Canada, were my classmates at Divine Word University, and of course some of the cousins like the father of one of that just Monique, Attorney Boy Arteche. I'm always in contact with him, being a kakamping. We always share our ideas, you know. So Mana Thelma, may you rest in peace. We will surely miss you so much. And it has been a joke among us, considering that the seniors of the Taclobanon are going one by one. The other one was Wayne Gray, then some are gone. So I said, who are left? There are still a few, so we will surely miss them in our association. Then I said, we are the second batch. What do you mean you are the second batch? Well, those that are below 80, and I'm the youngest, being I'll be 7 on the 20th of this month. You know, when you say 7, when you look at me, I'll be 70. So we are the second batch. I said, well, it all depends upon our Creator. If it's your day, it's gonna be your day. This is the third time I have to speak to deliver an eulogy. This is very difficult in the sense that when you know someone close to you, you feel sad. The first time was when Father Ernest Hordeman, the president of Divine Word University, died. I was requested to speak for. Then the second time when my wife passed away 18 months ago, the most difficult in my life. But as I've said, I have to say goodbye to Mana Thelma. When we visited her on her 89th birthday, sabi niya, Edwin, salamat, ani kamu, malipay ako. And then I told her, be strong, kay ako termano itong Taclobanon next year. So she was happy when we were at their house. And once again, Mana Thelma, may you rest in peace, and thank you, everyone.
Hello everyone, thank you for being here. I wasn't exactly prepared on what to say. I tried to write something, didn't really work out. Looking around the room, hearing everyone speak, I hear one thing in common, many things in common. We all kind of have the same experiences. She left an impact on almost every one of us that's just not even imaginable. And the experiences that we all had, I'm sure that we've seen everything that she had to offer. And we still see what she has to offer to each and every one of us. Hearing what you guys say, hearing that she loved to dance, she loved to dress. Everything that you guys have said is absolutely true. Even though she was ready to go, there's no real way to explain in a selfish kind of manner how we weren't ready for her to go. All of us in some type of way. I believe that now she is with my Uncle Ed, rejoicing, looking after all of us. And I was told by my girlfriend that she entered through the gates of heaven dancing towards him. And if we can't all see that with her big hair and her jewelry and everything else and her big smile, then I can't picture it any other way. I know that family was everything to her. And she told us every single time that it should be everything to us as well. After the passing of my uncle, she did start to decline a bit. And her mental state was just in a different manner. She always wanted to be back with him after that happened. But before then, we all know, in some sense, all the attention was always on her. That's grandma for you. To see that there are people from outside of the family here, that there are people from the family, people that I've never met before, but that's kind of what being Filipino is. This is your cousin, this is your cousin, this is your cousin, and that person over there is your cousin as well. Thank you again for everyone being here. To hear all the stories, it's amazing, because even though I knew all this about her, to hear it again and again, it's almost like you're hearing it for the first time. Ida, it's beautiful to hear you say that you stole the lipstick, you sold the dresses, and things like that. Because if it wasn't for her, none of us would have little details that we would pay attention to. Whether it be the jewelry, the dancing, anything that it was. Grandpa, thank you for everything. Anytime there was a party or anytime Grandma was on the dance floor, I knew as a kid, I knew that you were there taking a picture of her. Most of the pictures that you see here, if it's not very old or he's not in them, he probably took the picture himself. While, of course, she was front of line on the dance floor. There's nothing but beautiful memories when you talk to anybody, any side of the family, any church, anyone that knows her or has come across her. She was a blessing to all of us, and continues to be, and continues to be. Again, I didn't have anything written down. The things that I did try, it didn't work out. But there are some things in her honor that I would like to translate in Filipino or in Tagalog. And if I butcher it, please correct me after, please. In closing, salamat Lola sa iyong pagpapala. kasama ka namin magpakailanman. I'll translate in a second, sorry. Ako ay magpapasalamat magpakailanman. Ipagmamalakay ka ang apo mo. And lastly, nagpapasalamat magpalanman. I'll say it in English because I know I messed it up. Anyway, in some sense, like I had said before, Grandma, you are a blessing to all of us. Lola Thelma, thank you for everything. I know you're with us forever. I, as well as everybody else in this room, is forever thankful. We all love you. Know that one day your grandson will make you very proud, if I haven't already. And again, we are forever thankful for your blessings, for your guidance, and for your abundance. Thank you all for being here.
I prepared a little something. My friendship with Mana Thelma dates back to the first induction event of Antaclobanon Association of Southern California some 38 years ago in November of 1985. And this envelope I'm holding contains happy memories. It contains photos I saved through the years. They were taken by Manu Ling, capturing happy times and joyous moments with the smiling faces of Mana Thelma and her friends, enjoying the times of our lives. And that's how I want to remember Mana Thelma. Smiling, dancing, and simply having a good time with Igkasi Taclobanon. Like they say, memories are always special. Sometimes we laugh by remembering the days we cried. And we cry by remembering the days we laughed. C'est la vie. That's life. Truly everything flows and nothing abides. Everything gives way and nothing stays fixed. But Mana Thelma, we will remember and cherish the times of our lives because you left footprints in our hearts. Until we meet again, rest in the Lord's peace. Thank you.
Happy Sunday, everyone. I definitely am probably one of the last people to maybe come up here, but I want to say thank you to everyone for coming, just because this is a huge part of life, I think, just in general, and this is my grandma, and I say this because I'm not at all blood related, but she gave me her blessing many times, and those of you who were there the last moments, you knew she fought. She did not want to go to sleep at all, and she has the heart of a warrior, and Grandpa does too. And you guys know that she literally carries, the body that she carries is full of light, and every single one of you guys that got to touch some of her energy carry it with her. And I think that although this is sad, as Irvin Jr. did say, all I envisioned was her dancing her way through those gates, because that's all the energy that she had, which is positive. And as we see her here in her pink dress with the gold, you know, she was upset when Irvin would touch her hair, because you guys know she took her time. I know that there was a few times where she would tell me that she would sleep sitting up because no one was gonna mess up her hair. And right now she rests in gold, as she deserves to be, because that's all she illuminated. And I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for coming here, and for the family, those of you who are not family. But just as she had so much light, I think that we can carry that on as her legacy. And Grandpa, just know we're going to be here with you. And the Obfenda name will always carry on, whether it's through Junior or the son. So thank you guys very much. I guess just keep shining with her in your mind, and thank you.
We will miss her. Thelma, who will forget her, right? She's a friend to anybody, anyone, even those who don't know her, and they just hear her name. They know Thelma. As a nurse, she was one of the first one from Haro, together with Manabel and Castellio, to come to the United States and practice their profession. Okay, I think you know this story when Thelma came to the United States and worked as a nurse, and her first so they were like 5 of them or 6 of them. They were housed in with the time with the agency. So anyway, so it's their first night, and of course they have to eat. So they went shopping in the grocery. And I know some of you heard about this already. So they went shopping, and it's dinner time. So they went around and found the cheapest one, and then they buy it. So they went home and ate dinner. So the following day, the housekeeper was here to clean up the thing and start in the morning, right? So now the housekeeper asked them and said, "Do you have a pet?" And then they said, "No, why?" "Oh, because we found empty cans of dog food here in the trash." And then they said, "Oh, well, they were the cheapest ones we can find to eat for dinner last night." But of course, they are clean. They're just like us. We have our food, canned foods, but it's for the dog. So anyway, so that was the story of the first dinner of Thelma. So they eat dog food, but they are clean. But she really loves to tell us about these stories. I have more stories, but it's not ending with Thelma. She is a happy person. In fact, the first time I met Thelma, to introduce myself, it was in a Haro Association fiesta. And before, our Haro Association fiesta was held in Westin Bonaventure Hotel. And it's always like Manabilen, because she's always the host of the Haro Fiesta here in LA. When it's in San Francisco, they have the whole group of sponsors there. But here in LA, it's always Manabilen. So anyway, so in one of those, in Westin Bonaventure Fiesta, Haro Fiesta, I think it's the second time I attended. So Tia Thelma came to me and she said, are you Faye? And I said, yes, I'm from Haro. And said, yeah, you're my niece. And she is smiling. That smile of her touched my heart. I mean, telling me that I'm her niece. It's because my father is Anyver on the mother's side. So from then on, so I think because she didn't have a girl, so it was just Edwin or Erwin. Edwin, rest in peace. Yeah, she became close to me. So every time we had our Haro Fiesta, Taclobanon Fiesta, she always comes and talks to me. And of course, Tia Thelma is a dancer, and I am a dancer too. So we click. And so whenever there's dancing already, I'm like, oh, can you request? At that time, Mambo number 5 was the favorite. So, can you request Mambo number 5? I said, okay, Tia Thelma, let's wait because this is a dinner and dance. And it's if it's just a fiesta, I can go and like just request it. And so like when a fiesta now, and I said, can you request the Mambo number 5? I said, sure, Tia Thelma. And so she can dance from the start of the event to the finish. She is a dancer. With her and Manuin are the best partner because Manacora doesn't dance as well as Tia Thelma. So yeah, Tia Thelma is a happy person and a friend to everybody. And she cannot say a bad word at all. I mean, she is just, I don't know, I can say she is naive, but well, not really, because she wants to know everything. What goes on in the association. Yeah. So so yeah, as I say, she is a party animal. Okay, this is another story. There's a lot of stories about Tia Thelma, but I am just pertaining to what I have experienced with her. In 2000, we have our fiesta in San Francisco. So it was hosted by them, the Haro Association there. So now we have to go to San Francisco. Me and Tia Thelma flew to San Francisco. We stayed at Lolet's house, the sister of Didit, Sonia, and Girlie. We stayed there, and so, yeah, Tia Ita came, and then, we introduced each other. She introduced me to the family, and so, at nighttime, so the following day is the fiesta. So at nighttime, we had to sleep in one bed. And this is Tia Thelma with her coffee and everything. She won't, if she had that on the weekend, she had it done. Oh, it will last forever. Because, okay, so we stayed in one bed, right? Well, when I turned towards her, I accidentally hit her head with my elbow. But not too bad. But I think the coiffure was messed up or whatever. But I didn't know that Tia Thelma has a brush, has a comb with her. So now she woke up when my elbow touched her head, and I didn't really mess up the hair, and said, "Oh, you touched my hair." And I said, "Oh my God, I thought you were asleep." I said, "No." Okay, well, I have to comb. No, she had the brush at her side. Oh, the comb at her side, and she combed. Well, she was in bed. I said, okay.
Did she stab you with the comb?
I know, yeah, almost. I know she was mad because whenever she had that coiffure, it's really nice. And you cannot touch it. And when I open the window when she's with me, riding with me, Oh no, close the window, because my hair. I said, okay, Chatelma, your hair. Okay. So anyway, so at that night I said, okay, Chatelma. I woke up in the morning. Chatelma, did you remember that you woke me up? I accidentally touched your head. And it's like, yeah, why did you have to do it? I said, I didn't know either. I was gonna touch your head. So anyway, yeah, so like, yeah, she was mad, I guess, at that time when, it's the middle of the night. So, but, yeah, Chatelma is like, okay, let's go, get ready, and then we go to the, yeah, so it was good. And, yeah, Chatelma is very forgiving. That is her, very forgiving. She won't say anything. Oh, okay. The Mahjong. I don't know. The players of the Mahjong. Manakora, Manuin, of course. Chuliling. And it's gonna be in different houses, right? So it's either my house, her house, or wherever. Not in Manakora's house. But anyway, okay, when you play Mahjong, also the Price Ingle family. Price Ingle. I always have the Mahjong there too. Thank you for that. And also with Chatelma, when she's the one to, how do you do that? The Mahjong. When she's the one to, her turn already. Oh, just wait, okay? I have to do this, and then and everybody like, hey, that's not fair. We give you time, but how about us? I mean, we are all the same. And Chuliling will, Thelma, you go ahead, or else don't go in the game if you don't play as we do. So Chatelma is always like, yeah, I think it's like, hey, it's me. Don't meddle with me, right? Okay, Erwin. Thank you. That's the grandson of Chatelma, Erwin. Chatelma always like, okay, whatever you had, what you experienced, I have done that, been there, and here I am. I said, yes, Chatelma, I will listen to you. When Chatelma fell 2 years ago, she didn't go back to her usual health. She just like, she could still ambulate inside the house, but slowly she went, just go sit in the wheelchair. It's because she was in pain. And I couldn't understand then that she was in pain. When she calls, like later already, like how many, like it passed like how many months already, and then when she calls like, Fe, I'm gonna die already. Said, Chatelma, don't say that. And so from then on, that's when she calls me, it's always like that, like, Faye, I'm gonna die. I think she calls me when she is in pain. Now I'm just thinking back, yeah, because pain is really there. I mean, you cannot hide pain. So she would always say that, Faye, mamatay na ako, kadina. So at one time I told her, Chatelma, you know what, I know you do that to Cora or to Edna when she calls them to come and visit, and she said the same thing to them. And I said, Chatelma, See, I didn't know that she was in pain. So, Chatelma, please, if you, because we get worried if if you tell us that do you want to die? I said, it's only the Lord that will know when He will take you. And so, when the time comes, maybe we will not believe you anymore because you always say that, yeah. So, now thinking back, yeah, when she was saying that to me, she was in pain. So like before she went on hospice, it even got more calls like that. And poor Chatelma, and I said, I will just pray for you, Chatelma. I know the Lord it's His time, not ours. I'll pray for you. I'll pray that, see, I didn't say about pain because I didn't know that she was in pain. She won't complain, really, of pain. She didn't complain to me, at least. Before she went on hospice, yeah, the calls was lesser and lesser. I guess because she had somebody with her already, Steve, and thank you, and Dindo, and sometimes Jeanette comes to help. Yeah, so the calls was lesser and lesser and lesser. So now, before she went, when she was on hospice already, I remember it, September 11. That's when Manuwin died, September 11. She called. He said, Pangadina. It means, pray for me. Pray for me. And so she keeps on saying, Pangadina, Pangadina. And the last thing she said, Kadina. And I said, Chatelma, it's already getting dark, and I can come tomorrow. That was Monday. That was Sunday when I was talking to her. Oh, our conversation ended because the hospice nurse was there. So the following day, I went. That was Monday. I went, and I couldn't talk to Chatelma anymore. Because she was put on morphine already that Sunday when I last talked to her, when the nurse gave her morphine then. So when I got there, she was still sleeping. She didn't wake up until I left. So yeah, that was the last time I saw Chatelma alive, but I couldn't talk to her anymore. But Chatelma will live with us forever. Yeah, she's gone, but I know she is in a better place than all of us here. She has the eternal life with the Lord, and I think that would be our comfort for her. Another thing. I have another story. I just remember it now, and I don't want to miss it. Okay, she called me and said, "Oh, I have an appointment with a doctor," and I said, "Okay." Okay, so I got there and then said, "Okay, what time is your appointment?" And this and this, and then like Chatelma, give me the address because it's easier, just give me the address. And said, no. Because we will go far if you will, because of course it will lead you to the freeway. The GPS will lead you to the freeway, and it's shorter, right? So anyway, and I said, no, Chatelma, just give me the address. No, I'll just give you the direction. I said, okay, Chatelma, now. There we go. So she didn't want me to drive on the freeway because it's long. It will take long. I said, okay, all right. So we drove and so we talk and talk and talk. So now Chatelma, are you gonna direct me? I said, yeah. Okay, yeah. Okay. We pass this and pass this and pass this. okay, Chatelma, didn't you say your appointment was just near? Your doctor is just near? I said, yeah. Oh, wait a minute. I thought we were going to Betty Martinez. So the address of Betty Martinez was in her head, and so that's why we were going there. And said, oh, okay, Chatelma. Oh, I'm sorry because yeah, the address that I was directing you is to Betty Martinez. And I said, oh, Chatelma. I said, okay, yeah, we have to go back and this. Now we got to the, and I said, okay, Faye, I'm sorry. Oh, I won't call you anymore. I said, Chatelma, no, I'm not mad. I'm like, because I was talking to her, like, oh, Chatelma, you know what? You need to have somebody with you 24 hours already. That's what I was talking to her, and she was listening, I guess. That's why she just like, okay. And then so like, yeah, so yeah, that was a story that I will remember forever. And she said, I will not call you anymore because I'm ashamed that, you know, I let you go back and this. I didn't know. The following day, she called me again. And I said, okay. So, yeah, that will live with me. That will stay with me, that story. Yeah. So, yeah, all we need to do is pray for her repose of the soul. Because we don't know where she goes after here. But, yeah, she will be in a better place in heaven. As we pray, eternal rest grant unto Chatelma, O Lord, and let perpetual light shine upon her. May Chatelma rest in peace. Amen. Thank you.